here's what happened. They sent me across the street to this guy named Kirby, okay? And Kirby was supposed to help me find a free program to go to. And he ended up finding this place called Keystone Recovery in Fullerton, California. I don't think that place is still around anymore. It's just a sober living, right? Maybe it is. And they agreed to take me for $100 a week, and they would front me a couple weeks in order to allow me to get a job, and then I could start paying rent, right? And Kirby helped me get into that place, and I was grateful. And then he said something that changed my life. He said, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And I said, "I don't really have anywhere to go or anything to do." He goes, "Why don't I pick you up and take you to a meeting?" Right? So here's this guy. He just answered some random dude's phone call who just got kicked out of a program, and he asked me to go to a meeting with him. Right? And there was a lot of people that loved me, don't get me wrong. My mother and father loved me. My sister loved me. I even still might have had a few friends that loved me. But this guy didn't know me from Adam, owe me anything, and he decided he was going to do that. And he was going to offer that to me. And so immediately I trusted him. And so I said, okay, sure. He picked me up. He took me to the meeting. Then I called my sponsor, the guy that I had never called, that I found at the treatment center. I never called him one time. I called him and said, "Hey, Manny," this guy named Manny. The reason I picked him is because he was the PCP king in Norwalk, and there was an article about him in the newspaper that was hung to the wall. I thought that was cool, so I wanted him to be my sponsor because maybe one day I could be the PCP king in Norwalk. Who knows, right? My standards were pretty low. But Manny ended up being an incredible guy. And so I called him and I said, "Hey, Manny, I'm back. I relapsed." He's like, "Oh, that's weird," right? But I'm like, "Okay, but I'm ready to go now." And he said, "Okay." He said, "Okay." And so for the next 90 days, Manny showed up to that sober living, picked me up. We go get something to eat. We go to a meeting. Then after the meeting, we'd sit in his car with a flashlight, and he'd get out the big book, and I'd read the big book with him. And when it said to do something in the big book, we literally stopped right there, and we did it. Just like it said to do it in the book, right? That doesn't happen enough now these days, but that's what changed my life, right? It changed my life, and I started to believe in myself again. I started to think that maybe it was possible.